Good day, learners, and welcome to another lesson in Life and Works of Rizal. Rizal as a Mason. In Spain, Rizal came in close contact with prominent Spanish liberal and Republican including Miguel Moraita. Si Miguel Moraita ay isang statesman, professor, historian, and writer. In March 1883, he joined the Masonic lodge called Acacia in Madrid. Rizal, way back then, was impressed by the way the Spanish Masons openly and freely criticized the government policies and friars, which couldn't be done in the Philippines. His reason for becoming a Mason was to secure Freemasonry's aid in his fight against the friars in the Philippines. Since the friars used the Catholic religion as a shield to entrench themselves in power and wealth, he intended to utilize Freemasonry as his shield to combat them. Later, he transferred to Lodge Solidaridad in Madrid, where he became a Master Mason on November 15, 1890. On February 15, 1892, he was awarded the diploma as a Master Mason by Le Grand Orient de France in Paris. His Masonic writing was a lecture titled Science, Virtue, and Labor. Rizal wasn't active unlike the other members, Marcelo H. del Pilar, Graciano Lopez Haina, Mariano Ponce, and many more. In 1889, he presented one of his crafts in Lodge Solidaridad, Madrid. Rizal also had his financial worries when he transferred in Madrid. After Rizal's departure for Spain, things turned from bad to worse in Calamba. Rizal's salute to Luna and Hidalgo. The banquet on the evening of June 25, 1884 was sponsored by the Filipino community to celebrate the double victory of the Filipino artists in the National Exposition of Fine Arts in Madrid. It was attended by prominent Spanish artists, newspapermen, men of letters, statesmen, and Filipinos. Luna's Spolarium winning the first prize and Hidalgo's Christian Exposed to the Populace won the second prize. Rizal involved in student demonstrations. On November 20 to 22, 1884, the serene city of Madrid exploded in bloody riots by the students of the Central University. Rizal and other Filipino students participated together with Cuban, Mexican, Peruvian, and some Spanish students in the tumult. Such liberal views was condemned by the Catholic bishops of Spain who promptly excommunicated Dr. Moraita and those who applauded his speech. Studies completed in Spain. Rizal completed his medical studies in Spain. He was conferred the degree of licentiate in medicine by the Universidad Central de Madrid on June 21, 1884. The next academic year, 1884 to 1885, he studies and passed all subjects leading to the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Due to the fact that he did not present their thesis required for a graduation, nor pay the corresponding fees, he was not awarded his doctor's diploma. Rizal also finished his studies in philosophy and letters with higher grades. He was awarded the degree of licentiate in philosophy and letters by the Central de Madrid on June 19, 1885, on his 24th birthday, with the rating excellent or sobresaliente. Because of those achievements, he became qualified to be a professor of humanities in any Spanish university, and by receiving his licentiate in medicine, he became full-fledged physician and qualified to practice medicine. And remember, class, that one of his aims is to go back to the Philippines, serve his country and countrymen. Paristo Berlin, 1885 to 1887. Shortly after terminating his studies at Central University of Madrid, Rizal, who was then 24 years old and already physician, went to Paris in order to acquire more knowledge in ophthalmology. He went to Paris and Germany in order to specialize in ophthalmology. He chose this branch of medicine because of his mother's condition. He also continued his travels and observations of European life, customs, government, and laws. In Berlin, He met German scientists like Dr. Theodor Hagor, Dr. Adolf and Hans Meyer, and Rudolf Virchow. On his way to Paris, he stopped at Barcelona to visit his friend Maximo Viola, a medical student and a member of a rich family of San Miguel, Bulacan. He stayed there for a couple of weeks and he was introduced to another set of friends, Senor Eusebio Corominas and Miguel Moraita. In November 1885, Rizal was living in Paris where he worked as an assistant to Dr. Louis de Weckert, a French ophthalmologist from November 1885 to February 1886. From there, Rizal learned a lot from Dr. Weckert, wherein he included those experiences in his letters sent to Calamba. Outside Rizal's working hours, he relaxed by visiting his friends such as the family of the Pardo de Taveras, Juan Luna, and Felix Resurrección Hidalgo. Rizal as a musician. Music played an important part in all Filipino reunions in Barcelona, Madrid, Paris, and other cities of Europe. Rizal came to play the flute fairly well. Even though Rizal doesn't have a skill in singing, he then learned how to play an instrument, which is the flute. In Historic Heidelberg, after acquiring enough experience as an ophthalmologist in Dr. Weckert's clinic, Rizal left Paris on February 1, 1886 for Germany. He arrived in Heidelberg on February 3, 1886, a historic city in Germany famous for its old university and romantic surroundings. He worked there at the University Eye Hospital under the direction of Dr. Otto Becker. To the Flowers of Heidelberg. In the spring of 1886, Rizal was fascinated by the blooming flowers along the cool banks of Neckar River. In his mood of homesickness, he wrote on April 22, 1886, a fine poem, A Las Flores de Heidelberg, or To the Flowers of Heidelberg. The beautiful spring flowers reminded him of the blooming flowers at the garden of his home in Calamba. Rizal's life in Berlin. In Berlin, Rizal was not a mere student or a curious tourist. In the morning, he worked as an assistant in the clinic, and in the evening, he studied in the University of Berlin. He lived in his famous capital of unified Germany for 5 reasons. Number 1, to gain further knowledge of ophthalmology. Number 2, to further his studies of sciences and languages. Number 3, to observe the economic and political conditions of the German nation. Number 4, to associate with famous German scientists and scholars. And 5, to publish his novel Noli Me Tangere. Rizal on German women. Rizal included in his letter addressed to Trinidad, March 11, 1886, his admiration for German womanhood. According to Rizal, the German woman is serious, diligent, educated, and friendly. Rizal also had his darkest winter. Rizal starved in Berlin and shivered with wintry cold. His health broke down due to the lack of proper nourishment. He lived in poverty because no money arrived in Calamba. And that's it for this video. Feel free to share your 3 interesting facts you've learned from our discussion. Thanks for watching. See you in my next one. Please like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button for more lessons to learn. Bye!